Welcome to the Wellness Made Easy podcast. Today, we're returning to a November 2022 discussion as Larry Logsdon joins Dr. Bob Martin, host of America's largest weekend syndicated health talk show airing on over 500 stations nationwide. What if a single fruit could support energy, balance blood sugar, and even improve overall well-being? Sounds too good to be true, right? Stay with us as Larry and Dr. Bob uncover the powerful benefits of Noni juice and why it might just be the missing piece to your health routine.
We invited a special expert to join us today to discuss this very topic. His name is Larry Logsdon. Larry Logsdon is the founder of a company called Tahiti Trader Company, founded back in 1998. And Larry is a worldwide expert on the medicinal properties of Noni juice. He has traveled far and wide, and he has the very best Noni product on the planet, bar none. We've asked him to join us today on the program to help give some insight as to how you can leverage this amazing special fruit to benefit your health. And with that, let us welcome back to the program, Larry Logsdon. Good day to you, Larry.
Hey, good morning, Dr. Bob. How are you?
I'm good. I knew you had the answer to that question right away before I even answered it, but it was sort of one of those things where I think some of our very astute listeners knew right away I was talking about Noni with all the benefits. In fact, last hour, we had a caller who called into the show and asked me the question out of the blue, can Noni be used for people with who have diabetes? And I said, yes. I'm aware of at least one study. There's probably a lot more that Noni has helped people with type 2 diabetes. Of course, we recommend when anybody's drinking any kind of fruit juice, whether it's Noni or otherwise, they use meals around it, and they, of course, measure their blood sugar on a regular basis just to make sure. But I certainly see that there is clinical data, objective, solid information about this particular plant helping blood sugar-related problems.
Yes, sir, Bob. It's true. There are so many studies about how Noni has positive effects on helping our body regulate the usage of blood sugar. Countless users who tell us that once they use a Noni, they find that their blood sugar is under much better control. And how does all this function? Well, there's so many positive reasons here. The biggest issue we have is that the body is out of balance. This is the real problem, and people are not aware of it. And they say, well, I have this symptom here of my blood sugar is high. Well, your blood sugar is high because your body doesn't know how much blood sugar it needs. Mm-hmm. And this is all determined by the master hormone, serotonin. And most people just don't, they wore out. And in fact, to answer your question about why people think they begin aging at 42, perhaps the answer is the number one question the doctors hear from people in their mid-40s is simple. Doc, why don't I feel good? What's wrong with me? And, of course, they're out of balance. And this has everything to do with the food supply and stress, which create these problems. But, yes, Noni can be a big help for anyone who has blood sugar issues. Really very helpful, especially after a course of about 60 days of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know some people, it's hard to wrap your brain around the fact that is it that simple that you could ingest either in juice or other form of fruit that will give you the potential to turn around a great number of health-related problems. And I mentioned some of those. In fact, we know, and you provided this, there's a young lady by the name of Noni. She and I want you to tell her story of what she found, how she benefited by using Noni juice.
Well, I love her story, Joni's story. She came to us a few years ago, and she says, I just feel lousy, and I found your product really helped me. I went to the health store, and they recommended it. And she went on to tell me that she is a very active mother of three in her late 30s and found out that she just didn't feel good anymore. She been to the doctor. The doctor says, you're fine, the blood work's good, I can't find a problem here anywhere. Go on home, just drink more water. And she just could not believe what's wrong. So she went to the health store, and they recommended Tahiti Trader Noni juice. She took it home, began using it, and after just about a week, she says, I couldn't believe it. My energy was back. And my recovery times were better from my exercises. And she says the other part that was really fun is that, she's got 3 kids, so there's a whole lot going on in that house. And she feels good. So she's not snapping at kids when they're asking her, Mommy, Mommy this and Mommy, Mommy that. And this is an important issue because what's holding her back is I didn't change my diet. My body has now adapted. And that's what Noni is, the amazing adaptogen to help your body adapt to what you throw at it. And this is what the Polynesians taught us, Bob. They taught us this from 5,000 years ago. And what's amazing about it is it's the only medicine the Polynesians ever had.
Well, exactly. There weren't pharmacies around the Polynesian islands. They had to rely on the fruit as their medicine. We're talking with Larry Logsdon, CEO, founder of Tahiti Trader Noni. You can find Tahiti Trader Noni at vitamin shops, Sprouts, natural grocers, and other fine stores. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We're speaking with Larry Logsdon, CEO and founder of Tahiti Trader, the company that manufactures and distributes the very best Noni juice on planet Earth. And if you were interested in finding out more about Tahiti Trader Noni juice, you can look for it at your favorite health food stores, including GNC stores nationwide, Vitamin Shop, Sprouts, Natural Grocers stores. They have 165 stores nationwide, and any fine other natural grocery store that carries Tahiti Trader Noni juice. They also have a terrific website to learn more about it at TahitiTrader.com, TahitiTrader.com. And, of course, also you can pick up the telephone and ask questions, or they can direct you to a store near where you live by calling their toll-free number at 800-842-5309. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, 800-842-5309. Larry, when I listen to Joni with her testimonial, that is highly compelling. I've never met Joni, but her testimonial on the results she obtained by consuming Noni juice is very, very compelling and very believable.
Well, it's very true, Bob. Anybody who presents their story to us, we scrutinize heavily because some people, make it up. But other people are just so darn authentic. They're just telling it from their heart, as Joni did. And it relates big time to your question of the day. Are people old at age 42?
Right.
And the answer to that is, for many Americans, yes. However, it doesn't have to be. Your body doesn't have to grow old. It hasn't adapted. That's what the problem is, and so many have identified that as growing old. And yeah, old people act that way, but you don't have to. You can actually have all your faculties all the way up until 100 years old. In fact, in an upcoming call we will do, I have a gal who's 101, and I want to hear her story, and her brother at 105, who are active and healthy and drinking Noni every day, folks.
Oh, sweet.
The reality is your body will adapt if we give it the tools needed. That's all there is to it.
That's it. Well, okay, so I guess the obvious thing here, Larry, is what's the difference between somebody drinking a glass of orange juice or apple juice or grape juice than, let's say, compared to Noni juice?
Well, Dr. Bob, basically, Noni has more than 140 unique nutrient compounds that aren't found in any other juice, doesn't matter what it is, anywhere, including orange juice, apple juice, ciders, you name it, they're not there. And that's the main reason why you get such a kick from drinking Noni. In fact, most people who take our juice will say, oh my God, I felt that right away. That's how your body works. It wants these tools so it can begin to do the things it wants to do. It needs certain some mineral nutrients that are only found in certain fermented foods. That's just the way it is, folks. So that's why the Polynesians only had one type of fruit they use for everything, Noni. And what's interesting about this, have you ever seen a small Samoan? No, they're huge.
No.
Why? No. Because they're so healthy. They're unbelievably healthy. And they did all this amazing, they brought life to the whole entire South Pacific Islands, and they did it all on a catamaran. They built themselves with sails made out of coconut, and they only had one fruit they brought with them, Noni. It's an amazing thing. And going back to Joni, it's an amazing thing. She's a very active woman. Her husband had just passed away when she called, and she said she had a lot of depression and other kinds of mental issues surrounding his passing. And she said, I started drinking my Noni again. Oh, my God. I felt great again. And you need that when you have three small ones. I mean, her littlest one was a year old, so you get a feel for what she was going through. So, folks, if you're looking to feel better, if you want to feel like you used to, you can have it, and Noni can help you get there.
Great. All right. For people looking for Tahiti Trader Noni juice, look no further than GNC stores, Vitamin Shop, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, or other fine health food stores, or the website TahitiTrader.com. And, circling back to the Polynesian, the Samoans, today, unfortunately, there's a lot of unhealthy people in areas like that. It's Tahiti and the state of Hawaii. Because why? Because the junk food stores are on every corner, and they're eating junk food, and they're not eating their traditional foods, which used to rely on the medicines within, like you said, the 140 compounds found in Noni. Unlike any other fruit, they're not eating their indigenous foods anymore. They're eating the foods that are processed and are, raped and pillaged.
That's correct. It all started in World War II when the United States military brought Spam to the island. And you're
going to break the hearts of a lot of Hawaiians listening right now.
Well, it's the truth. And it wasn't such a bad food in those days, but they continue to allow these foods to be flooded with chemicals and other things that don't belong there that upset our natural microbiome, and they upset our balance system. You see, if we eat whole foods, whole natural foods, you won't have these problems. Where do you find these, though? Most people say, well, that's so hard to get them over here. Okay, if that's the case, drink your Noni. It'll help cleanse you, detox you, and you'll get balance again, and you'll feel better. Now, that's a big deal these days because it's the number one health question doctors hear, and they don't answer because they don't have an answer. Doctors are looking for disease. They don't know anything about homeostasis.
That's true. All right. Now, Larry, the obvious question for people who are listening, if something, a fruit juice is this good, it can't taste that good because things that are good for you usually don't taste well. I'm going to ask you when we come back from this break, what does Noni taste like? What are people reporting on that? What can people expect? TahitiTrader.com, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Noni juice with Larry Logsdon. Back to our interview with Larry Logsdon. Larry, the taste of Noni, what can people expect? Because if something is this good, it must taste really bad.
Well, Bob, that is actually true. We have two formulas, Dr. Bob. We have our original high-potency Noni juice, which is a blend of our Noni extract with blueberry and raspberry, so it tastes good. A great way to start to drink Noni juice, because our island style juice, which is made exactly the way they did, the islanders have made it for a century or two, and this is very kind of difficult because it is a fruit vinegar, and it's nasty tasting. But the reality is it's been fermented all the way to vinegar. So this is why your body uses it so easily, because the vinegars go directly into the gut and begin doing their work there, which is what you want. But when you first start, I suggest people use our blended product. The reason why is, number one, you're going to feel it right now. Number two, the benefits start working anyway, and then you become more acclimated. And as time goes down the road, you say, okay, I'm ready to step up for the real McCoy, the heavy hitter, and you go to the island style. And there are very few people who walk away from that. They say, this is the best stuff I've ever tried. I've tried other products. This is it.
Well, I think if people know that there's a benefit, they won't mind. I mean, if you've ever tasted echinacea straight up or oregano oil, I doubt if the island style noni or some of the vinegars that I have thrown back myself. Now I understand, Larry, why noni helps blood sugar. Because of that effect, the preprandial blood sugar, that's been proven to help with diabetes. And now I understand the mechanism because you've mentioned it, and that's highly impressive.
Yeah, the vinegar is the name of the game, and it's fermented to vinegar. It takes at least 59 days to get it there. We can go longer to get it more acidic, but what happens is that you start losing some of the glycosides that get eaten up. So we don't want that to happen. So we have to be very choosy about how long we allow the fermentation to occur and when to stop it and when to separate the fruit from that fermented juice, and then when to bring it back together to go back in the bottle. So that's a big deal, and most people really appreciate that we put all the fruit solids in the bottle too. Just sort of like getting orange juice with pulp versus orange juice with nothing. It's just plain old sugar, basically. But we include the pulp because the pulp's where all the good stuff is.
Okay, so for those people on an entry level who want to experience noni, they would be tasting something like blueberry, and what else was the other flavor that's there?
Oh, blueberry juice and raspberry.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
I could go for that.
Yeah, it's very wonderful because as you drink it, you start feeling it right away, and that's what we want people to start noticing a difference. And as they get into the program, we'll then ask them to move into the island style, and then all of a sudden...
That's where the therapy... That's where the magic and the therapeutic nutrition starts to go to work. That's great. Excellent. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, Vitamin Shoppe, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, GNC's, Natural Health Food Stores, TahitiTrader.com. Larry Logsdon, thank you so very much for joining us, sir.
Thanks for tuning in to Wellness Made Easy. If you enjoyed this podcast, follow us on social media or visit TahitiTrader.com to discover how Noni Juice can help you feel your best. Take care, and we'll see you next time.